Imagine walking into a room expecting to find your paralyzed victim completely helpless. You expect them to be trapped in their own body, completely at your mercy. But instead, you find an empty bed. That is exactly the terrifying nightmare Willow Kane is about to walk into. This could be the biggest mistake of her life. Or it could be the exact moment her entire empire of lies burns to the ground. Drew Kane is gone. He didn't just walk away. He was taken in the dead of night. And the people who took him are the absolute last people you would ever expect to pull off a high-stakes extraction. We are talking about a scenario that is going to flip Port Charles upside down. Let's rewind, because we need to talk about how this massive explosion of drama actually starts. It all begins with a single, silent moment that changes the trajectory of everyone's lives. We all saw Kai Taylor standing in that room. We saw Drew Kane intentionally knock over that medical bag to get his attention. That wasn't an accident. That was a deliberate, desperate cry for help from a man who is a prisoner in his own home. Kai was thrilled at first. He was about to run to Willow. He was about to tell her the amazing news that Drew was regaining his mobility. But then Drew locked eyes with him. A silent plea. A desperate, terrified warning. Do not tell her. In that split second, Kai realized the horrifying truth. Willow isn't Drew's savior. She is his captor. She is the monster keeping him paralyzed. And that changes everything. Kai knows he cannot fight Willow head on. She is a powerful congresswoman. She has endless resources. She has Jack Brennan lurking in the shadows, ready to do her dirty work. If Kai confronts her directly, he will be crushed instantly. He will disappear, or worse. So he does the only thing he can do. He runs to Trina Robinson. Guys, this is where it gets interesting. Trina's already stressed to the max. She is preparing for a massive music performance with Gio. She is dealing with her parents' endless drama. She is trying to keep her distance from the chaos of Port Charles. But when Kai tells her that Drew Kane is being held hostage in his own body by Willow, Trina drops absolutely everything. She knows they have to act, and they have to act immediately. Drew is in mortal danger, and they are the only ones who know the truth. But wait, it gets worse. Kai and Trina are just kids. They are not medical professionals. They cannot just wheel a recovering, heavily medicated man out of a heavily guarded house. If they move Drew wrong, if his vitals crash during the escape, they could accidentally kill him. They need professional help. They need a doctor. And not just any doctor. They cannot go to anyone at General Hospital because Willow just won the 16th seat on the board. She has eyes and ears everywhere in that building. They need an absolute outsider. Enter Dr. Tristan Roberts. Dean Geyer's brand new character is stepping into the spotlight. And let me tell you, Tristan is not just here to check charts and argue with Britt Westbourne. Kai is going to track down Tristan. He is going to risk it all and tell this brand new doctor the absolute insane truth. A sitting congresswoman is paralyzing a man. At first, Tristan is going to think they are completely crazy. Why would he risk his brand new medical license for a wild conspiracy theory brought to him by two young adults? But what if he checks the medical logs? What if he hacks into the pharmacy records and sees the exact paralyzing agents Willow has been secretly ordering? Tristan realizes Kai is telling the truth. The discrepancies are glaring. The medication logs do not match Drew's charted condition. And just like that, the new doctor in town is pulled into a massive, highly illegal rescue operation. He knows the risks, but his oath to save lives overrides his fear of Willow's political power. Here is where things get messy. The extraction. I am picturing a high-stakes, breathless break-in that will leave us all on the edge of our seats. Kai, Trina, and Tristan sneaking into Willow's house under the cover of darkness. Every single floorboard creak could be their end. The tension is suffocating. They have to disconnect Drew from the medical monitors without triggering a failsafe alarm. They have to physically carry a grown man who can barely move his own legs, all while keeping him stabilized. If Willow wakes up, if she walks down the hall for a glass of water, it is game over. They would all be arrested on the spot for trespassing, assault, and kidnapping. But they managed to do it through sheer luck, adrenaline, and Tristan's medical expertise. They get him out the back door. They load him into a waiting vehicle and speed off into the night. They actually pulled it off. But that's not even the biggest surprise. Where do you hide a high-profile target like Drew Kane? You cannot take him to General Hospital. You cannot take him to a hotel. You need a place with medical supplies, privacy, and zero connection to Willow. So, Tristan makes a shocking call. He takes Drew to his own rented room. And where exactly does Dr. Tristan Roberts rent a room? Carly Spencer's house. Think about the sheer madness of that. Drew is being hidden right under Carly's roof. Carly is already drowning in drama. She is dealing with Lulu's wrath over hiding Valentine. She is fighting with Z about Jocelyn's WSB career. She is dealing with Sunny's sabotage. And now she has a fugitive medical ward operating in secret inside her own home. Tristan sets up a covert makeshift medical bay right there in the room, working frantically to flush the toxins out of Drew's system. He is running IVs, monitoring heart rates, doing everything off the books. Now, cut back to Willow. The sun comes up. She wakes up, completely oblivious to the fact that her world has been shattered. She walks into Drew's room with her usual sinister, manipulative smile, ready to administer another paralyzing dose to keep him quiet, and the bed is empty. The absolute sheer panic that is going to wash over her face will be legendary. At first, she is going to think he somehow crawled away. She will frantically search the bathroom, the closets, the hallways, but then the cold, hard reality sets in. Someone took him. But that wasn't the real problem. The real problem is that Drew is out there recovering. With every passing second, the drugs are leaving his system. With every passing second, he is getting closer to being able to talk and expose her crimes to the world. If Drew talks, Willow loses her congressional seat. She loses her freedom. She goes to prison for a very long time. If you ask me, Willow is not going to just sit there and cry. She is ruthless. She is a survivor who will do whatever it takes to protect her image and her power. What happened next may be even worse. She is going to flip the script entirely. She is going to call the PCPD. She is going to put on the performance of a lifetime. Tears streaming down her face, voice trembling, she will claim that armed intruders broke into her home in the middle of the night and violently kidnapped her vulnerable, paralyzed patient. She is going to use her political power as a congresswoman to light a massive fire under the police department. She will make herself the ultimate victim. And then everything spiraled. Because Willow is a congresswoman, this isn't just a local missing persons case anymore. She is going to demand the WSB get involved. She might even claim this is a political attack meant to silence her, leveraging her status to get federal agents on the ground. Suddenly, Kai, Trina, and Tristan are not just hiding a patient. They are the prime targets of a massive federal manhunt. The police are looking for violent kidnappers. The WSB is looking for domestic terrorists. And our trio of heroes looks guilty as sin. The entire city of Port Charles will be on lockdown looking for them. Guys, this is where it gets terrifying. Imagine the evidence Willow can manipulate. Security cameras might have caught Kai's car circling the neighborhood. Trina's cell phone might have pinged near the location at the exact time of the disappearance. Tristan's medical access logs at the hospital might look highly suspicious. The PCPD is going to start closing in fast. Harrison Chase, who is already dealing with the nightmare of Brooklyn framing Willow for Jordan's hit and run, is going to be leading the charge. Chase thinks he is rescuing a kidnapped victim. He doesn't know he is actually hunting down the good guys. He is going to be knocking on doors, interrogating everyone. He will question Gio. He will question Portia and Curtis. The tension is going to be absolutely suffocating. Every time a police siren wails in the distance, Kai and Trina are going to think it is over. Back at Carly's house, the walls are rapidly closing in. Tristan is working around the clock, sweating through his scrubs, trying to force Drew's body to heal faster than medically possible. Drew is fighting through the agonizing pain, trying to force his vocal cords to work, desperate to tell his story. Trina is watching the news on a muted TV, seeing her own face flashed on the screen as a person of interest in a federal kidnapping case. Kai is terrified, pacing the floor. They are literally one single knock on the door away from spending the rest of their lives in Pentonville. If Carly finds out what is happening upstairs, she might panic and throw them out. Or she might join the conspiracy, making her an accessory to a federal crime. Carly is already on thin ice with the authorities after the Valentine situation. If she gets caught harboring Drew Kane and his kidnappers, she will lose everything. The stakes have literally never been higher. But Willow is getting increasingly desperate. She knows time is running out. She needs to find Drew before he can speak. She cannot rely solely on the PCPD. She might even use Jack Brennan's dangerous underworld connections to hunt them down off the books. She will tell Brennan that Drew was taken by enemies who want to destroy their blackmail leverage. Brennan will unleash his own operatives to scour the city. It is a terrifying race against the clock. Can Tristan heal Drew before the PCPD kicks the door down? Can Drew stand on his own 2 feet before Willow's assassins find him and silence him permanently? The pressure is relentless. Nobody is safe. Every shadow could be an operative. Every phone call could be the police tracing their location. Tristan is pushing his medical skills to the absolute limit, administering antidotes, forcing Drew through brutal physical therapy right there in the bedroom. Drew is screaming in pain, but they have to muffle the sound so Carly doesn't hear. This is building toward an explosive climax. The evidence is mounting against Kai, Trina, and Tristan. The police are preparing to raid locations. Willow is tightening her grip on the narrative, painting them as dangerous criminals who preyed on a helpless man. But I don't think the truth will stay buried for long. If Tristan can just buy them enough time, Drew will finally recover. Imagine the scene. Willow is holding a press conference at the PCPD. She is crying for the cameras, demanding justice for her poor, kidnapped patient. She is calling for the maximum penalty for the monsters who took him. The police have arrest warrants ready for Trina, Kai, and Tristan. The entire city is watching the broadcast. And right at that exact moment, the precinct doors swing open. Drew Kane walks in. He is weak, he is pale, and he is leaning heavily on Tristan for support. But he is walking, and more importantly, he is talking. The entire room goes dead silent. The cameras pivot. Willow's fake tears instantly freeze on her face. Drew is going to look Willow dead in the eye in front of all the cameras, in front of Harrison Chase, and in front of the entire police force. He will confirm that he wasn't kidnapped. He was rescued. Rescued from the congresswoman who was poisoning him, paralyzing him, and holding him hostage in his own home. All of Willow's lies, her manipulations, and her dark secrets are going to explode right in her face on live television. The hunters will instantly become the hunted. Willow will be the one facing the handcuffs. But until that moment happens, Kai, Trina, and Tristan are in the crosshairs of a massive manhunt, and one wrong move could cost them everything. A massive secret is about to be exposed, and someone is definitely going to prison. You absolutely cannot miss what happens next.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.